and welcome to another Parts Factory installation tutorial video. Today we're working on a 2002 to 2006 Toyota Camry Sedan. Now this particular model is the X36 Camry, or some people call it the 30 series Camry. Very, very popular car on the roads. It's obviously a cheaper sort of mid-range 5-seater sedan. Very reliable vehicle, but there are a few things that go wrong with this car prematurely, and today we're going to be fitting the door locking actuator. Now basically a problem you might have is when you try and unlock the car with your key fob, the door might not unlock rather, and obviously that can be pretty annoying. But something even worse than that, if the actual mechanism itself breaks, then you can't even get in the driver's side of the door. Now today we're working on the driver's side of the car, as that door gets used the most, it breaks the most. But obviously the other doors break eventually, but driver's side door usually comes first. Now I'd say this job's going to take roughly half an hour. I've never done one on a Camry, I've done one on a RAV4, and yeah, half an hour to do that. Now before we go any further guys, just remember, I'll chuck the link up on the screen, but we have these door lock actuators available within Australia on our website, free delivery to your door. That's buying the product for about $88.30, delivered to your door free of charge. I think it's even free express post, which is obviously great. Doing a job like this DIY, installing the part yourself, could save you up to $500 on this job, purchasing the product yourself and installing it yourself. So it's something to think about before you book your car into a mechanic next time. Alrighty guys, let's get into the install. Right, so the unit we're going for is basically inside the door and bolted to the door panel here. And to get in there, we have to take this door panel off. Fairly straightforward. First things first, we're going to use Phillips head screwdriver or impact wrench. We're going to start here, taking one bolt out at a time, using a flathead screwdriver, just levering this little cap off. And you want to start to make a little pile of screws so you don't lose any. Before we unplug this master switch, you want to make sure your window is all the way up the top of the door. Then there's one inside of the pocket. One there. Pulling that out of the hole, putting it to the side. And at this point the master switch just pops out like that, using a flathead screwdriver to press down on this one. One last screw on the inside underneath the master switch, and at this point I should be able to, and then you can pull up on the door card, taking that little trim off up into the air, and you'll notice that the two wires attached to the back of the door handle are ready to be pulled off. And move it out of the way. So we need to go into this area over here. So we're going to pull down on this black sooty trim piece, allowing it to kind of gather itself on the plastic. And you can see these little rods, you pull them through the trim, then reverse the plastic and you can kind of stick it out of the way. At this point you can use your screwdriver, if you don't mind it being a little dirty forever, to kind of just wind this stuff out of the way. Now at this point we then want to just pull this little tab trim and remove that plug like that. So we're now working on the outside of the door. We're going to be using a Torx bit. I think it is a T30. We're going to undo these 3 bolts. 1, 2, 3, and you'll notice that the unit now moves around. Now there's a metal beam that travels down from top to bottom. To undo that, there's a 10mm just here. Once you got your 10mm, undo that bolt, keeping the 10mm but moving it away. You should be able to then see that the door lock actuator wobbles a lot more, and then you'll notice it just pops out the bottom like that. The rod that causes the door to lock just slides through that hole, and that way literally all we're doing is the two rods, bang, the three screws pulling down, plug, and it's out. Right, so we've got our replacement door lock actuator. As I said at the beginning of the video, I'll chuck the link up on the screen so you can check it out on our website. Before we go any further, we want to check to make sure that it's exactly the same as the OEM locking actuator. So we can note that the rods have to be transferred from the old one to the new one. Basically, under this little cap on this one, you can just flip that up, rod out, bang, rod in color coordination, etc, etc, and then we're obviously going to be putting the new one back into the door. There's obviously nothing wrong with mine today, so I'm not going to waste a good one in this door for no reason. So we're going to put this one back in this car. Alrighty, let's get into it. Right, it's time to reinstall the unit. So basically the first things first is we've got to take the door lock actuator in the door, stick it behind the metal beam that connects to this bolt down here. And you want to, as you rise it into the door, there's that rod you'll see as you're installing yours. Basically you slide it into the hole that it originally came out of. Once you've got the little rod in its original hole, just keep rising the door lock actuator until we note that the plug hole lines up on the door. Then you can grab the three screws for this side, just put them in by hand. 1, 2, and 3. Note that we should then put our 10mm back in that straight up and down supporting channel, making sure it's tight. At this point, we're going to bring our rods back up and through. And we want to put them back through the door seal, making sure that the yellow is on the top and the blue is on the bottom. Once we've completed that, you can then plug the plug back in, bring the seal over, we can then continue with reassembling the door card, remembering to bring the rods through the door card first, placing them in the door handle. I'm going to start with the bottom one first, and then bring the door card forward, pushing the handle in, grab your wiring loom, bring it up through the door. At this point, this is then when we want to hang the door card over the top of the metal part of the door, keeping that plug up. You can then tap around the edges and you'll note that the clips go in. Last one there. And then you want to put your main screw but in underneath the master control switch, the one in the handle, the three around the edges, master switch in, screw into the master switch, and then the little pad, and that would be job complete. Alrighty guys, all done. Realistically, it was actually even easier than I thought. This job could be finished in 15 minutes flat. The reason for that is because once those three bolts are out and the rods are off the handle, the actual door lock actuator just drops. The design's actually excellent compared to some other designs in other cars where you got to get your hand up in there, release clips, line things back up. Very, very difficult. But look, this design, excellent. Well done, Toyota. Alrighty guys, if you have enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button on our channel. It helps me know that this type of content's in demand and that people are interested in further videos just like this one. If you do have any video requests, drop it down in the comments below. Alrighty guys, if you are on Instagram, make sure you check out our Instagram page. It's at Parts Factory Oz. I'll chuck it up there. We're doing giveaways with toolboxes, scan tools, all sorts of DIY equipment. We're starting up a raffle section on our website, which is going to be very interesting for 2022. Alrighty guys, I'm Lucas Drabs. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.